Visitors and residents of Southampton will no doubt have noticed the scaffolding and repair work around one of the city's focal points, the Bargate. With extensive restoration needed on its water-damaged roof, our reporter Ben Trepess visited the landmark to learn more about its historical significance and its present-day place in the city.
Architecturally, the Bargate can be traced back to around 1180. It's one of the few Norman buildings that can still be found in Southampton. Over that time, it has become an unofficial symbol for the city. Key figures in history such as Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth I would have been met at the Bargate. The gates would have been opened, and then they would have been welcomed into the town itself.
It's been said by experts that it's one of the most sort of interesting and complex medieval gates in the whole of the country. It's grown over the years, so it's not like they built the gate and then it functioned. It started in the Norman period, then it was enlarged in the 14th century and then enlarged again in the 15th century. During that time, it's been the prison, the guild hall, the place where courts were held and justice was dispensed, and where all the town's politics took place in the 19th century. Mayors were elected and deposed in riots, all sorts of wonderful stories attached to this building.
The Bargate's most recent role was that of an art gallery. Once the current restoration work is complete, the hope is to revisit those times when it held a working use. The repairs began at the start of April, with a planned completion set for July. Andy explained the scale of work needed to return the building to full, safe working order.
The main problem has been caused by a leaky parapet right up at the top, up 6 lots of ladders. The parapet was rebuilt in 1912, the year the Titanic sailed, and they seem to have used a bitumen damp-proof course which has failed. So water has just been soaking into the stonework. That has caused erosion elsewhere in the building as the water's sort of trickled down through. So we're going to rip off all the old cement pointing and replace it with lime pointing, which will allow that water to escape. It'll take some years for it to get out. And hopefully we won't have that problem again. We'll rebuild the parapet top with a nice new damp course in it, lots of lead trays to keep out the water, and it'll last for another 800 years.
Around 4 foot of water falls on Southampton each year. With rainwater causing the limestone structure to dissolve over time, it's changed a great deal over its lifetime, with the cornerstones now a smoother, rounder shape. Andy also touched on how the Bargate provides an increasingly rare insight into the city's architectural history amid an ever-modernising landscape.
It's one of our wonderful buildings tied into the town walls. It's no longer tied in because they chopped them out in the 1930s. And there are some people who'd like to see it added back into the walled circuit. We have one of the best complete walled circuits of any medieval town in England, and this is the centre and the focal point. About 30 years ago it became the council logo, and you'll see all sorts of businesses now have pictures of the Bargate. People come and park their vehicles outside and take a quick snap and put it on the internet. So it's becoming more and more a symbol of the city of Southampton. The city has a sort of very modern feel, lots of new building work going on here, and a lot of people like to look back to the past and see where the roots of the city were, and this is that symbol.
Ben Trepess, for That's Solent.